Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for breaking news on GOTV featuring an important statement by Dr. Gholam Mujtaba, chairman of the Pakistan Policy Institute USA, on the Abraham Accords. The broadcast will also highlight the address of Mr. Jared Kushner, senior advisor to President Donald J. Trump and his son-in-law, delivered at the Anti-Defamation League's annual convention. A significant moment in shaping peace and diplomacy in the Middle East.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in humanity, tonight I'm talking to you on a very important subject that matters to all of us across the globe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing that voices rooted in faith, dignity, and courage still matter in the world of noise and chaos. Today I do not speak to you as a politician, nor merely as a scholar. I talk to you as a father, a son of migrants, and as a man whose heart aches when innocent children in Gaza cry, when Israeli hostages are torn from their families, and when the land of prophets become the soil of endless funerals. We are at a historic crossroads. The Gaza Strip bleeds, homes lie in rubble, the cries of mothers echo across the desert winds. Yet, amid this human suffering, a window, fragile but real, has opened for peace, a three-phase ceasefire. Initiative supported by the United States, Egypt, and Qatar is being considered. It calls for 1. The release of hostages and prisoners. 2. The withdrawal of Israeli troops from densely populated areas. 3. And a massive humanitarian aid corridor delivering 600 trucks a day because every soul deserves water, medicine, and bread. This isn't politics. This is moral responsibility. But let me be clear, a ceasefire is not a destination. It is a bridge. And bridges must lead to somewhere. And that somewhere, my friends, is the Abraham Accords. I am proud to stand today alongside Jared Kushner, a statesman and a visionary. His words at the ADL, Anti-Defamation League Convention, struck a chord across civilizations. He said, quote, "Talking with both Jews and Muslims, let me be more optimistic than ever that Abraham Accords have a solid foundation to grow to Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Indonesia, and many others," unquote. I echoed his vision in my address on Pakistan's largest news platform, GOTV, tonight. Why? Because I believe this is the only structured, realistic, and inclusive peace framework that respects faith, identity, and sovereignty without demanding surrender. Let us not forget history. Camp David gave us a start. Oslo gave us hope. But they lacked teeth, timeline, and trust. Jerusalem, Zion, Liqad, Al-Quds remains a sacred symbol for Jews, Muslims, and Christians, but it has also become a symbol of betrayal for displaced Palestinians, Muslims, and Christians alike, whose numbers now make up less than 2% of their ancestral land. We cannot rewrite the past, but we must refuse to repeat it. The Abraham Accords offer normalization without negation, integration without humiliation, and coexistence without preconditions. President Trump, yes, the leader who defined diplomatic stagnation, has once again shown that peace is not forged in the United Nations speeches, but to act in action. He stated just days ago that Gaza ceasefire may be achieved within a week. And I say this to the Islamic world, especially to Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia. It is time. Time to rise not with clenched fists, but with open hands. Time to trade outrage for outreach. Time to be the architects of justice, not the civilization, the victims of delay. When Jared Kushner speaks of shared future, and when I call for interfaith reconciliation through wisdom rooted in the Quran, Bible and Torah, we are not speaking from opposite ends. We are meeting at the same bridge, a bridge where Jews, Christians and Muslims do not merely tolerate each other, but embrace a destiny of peace. Let the world know our vision is aligned, our purpose is united, our call is urgent. To every mother in Gaza, every father in Tel Aviv, to every child in Karachi, Ramallah or Haifa, know this, there are still men and women willing to fight, not for land, but for peace. Not for domination, but for dignity. As a servant of my people, and as a believer in divine justice, I commit my voice, my pen, and my platform to a future shaped by the Abraham Accords, to a ceasefire that opens the doors in lasting peace, and to a world where justice is not a slogan, but a shared promise. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless humanity.
Speaking with both Jews and Muslims who are navigating the dynamics caused by the current conflict left me more positive than ever that the Abraham Accords have the foundation to prosper and expand across additional nations, including Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Indonesia, and many, many more to come.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful. Moses, Nazireen Ikram, Janab Vakil Ansari Sahab, Assalamu alaikum. As always, it has been a pleasure to meet you in this segment of the program. और आज के इस प्रोग्राम के अंदर इस वक्त की भड़कती हुई खबर जो आलमी सतह पर गश्त कर रही है, that is the Israel and Gaza understanding, pact and agreement is spearheaded by the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, vis-a-vis the Abraham Accord that has to be implemented in the region with the understanding of both the parties in conflict. इससे पहले कि हम इसकी तफसीलात पर गुफ्तगू करें, मैं समझता हूं कि जेरूसलम और इसराइल और फ़लस्तीन की तारीख पर थोड़ी सी हल्की सी नजर डालें. Jerusalem, historically known as Jerusalem, Zion, Elio-Capitolina al-Quds, lies at the heart of ancient Canaan, later known as Palestine, and now shared with modern-day Israel. The city has seen successive rules by ancient Israelites, means Bani Israel, Babylon, Romans, Aelia Capitolina, Byzantine, Christians, Islamic Caliphates, Crusaders, and Ottoman Empire, and the present day Palestine and Israel. The current dispute began with the 20th century, the Zionist movement, and escalated after the 1948 Nakba and 1967 occupation, rooted in competing national claims over land and identity. Palestinians are both Muslims and Christians. 85% of the Palestinians are Muslims, and around 12% historically are Christians, who are now reduced to 2%, coexisting as one people under occupation. Key factors include illegal settlements, displacements, blockades of Gaza, the status of Jerusalem, and international inactions in enforcing two-state solution. The agreements that has taken place over the years could not bear fruits and be executed are: in 1949, Armistice Agreement between Arabs and Israel after the War of 1948, which included Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria, but not with the Palestinians, who had no recognized state at that time. Now, at this point, of time after this, in 1978, Camp David Accord was made. Egypt made peace with Israel. Palestinians were mentioned, but no direct deal was made with them. In 1987 to 93, first Intifada, the Palestinian uprising, took place and increased international pressure for dialogue. In 1991, Madrid Ceasefire Conference started, which ended up in US-Soviet sponsorship, and the representatives of Israel and Palestinians participated and which ended without any results. In 1993, Oslo Accord between Israel and PLO was signed, recognized. Each Palestinian Authority was established and created with limited self-rule in Gaza and West Bank. In 1995, Oslo Accord expanded Palestinian Authority and divided the West Bank into Arabs A, B, C, and wherein Israeli control. In 2001, Tabba talks followed up negotiations after Camp David and collapsed, promising but halted due to Israeli elections and rising violence there. In 2002, Arab Peace Initiative took place, which asked for the withdrawal of Israeli forces to the 1967 borders. However, this was never accepted by Israel and could not be executed. In 2003, roadmap for peace was made by US-led plan for two-state solution. However, this did not work either. In 2007, Annapolis conference under President Bush with Mahmoud Abbas and Allman also failed. In 2011, Kerry Initiative attempt to final state negotiation ended up in fiasco. In 2020, President Trump presented the case of Abraham Accord for a two-state solution, living at peace side by side. However, this did not work out as yet, but the breaking news is that President Trump has announced that diplomatic move has taken place that will bring ceasefire within a week between Israel and Hamas and be reached this following week, citing coordinated efforts by key regional players, Qatar and Egypt. It will be nice to see these developments in the weeks to come. Keep tuned to us, and we will present the latest developments, its implications and execution. That is in the larger interest of the region, including Pakistan. And we hope that Pakistan plays a pivotal role in bringing peace in the region. Thank you. Till next segment, Allah Hafiz.